Algebra 2, Lesson 2.4b, finding x and y intercepts. That's our learning target. I can find the x and y intercepts. We're even going to be graphing in just a moment. To find an x-intercept, of course, what you're going to do is let y equal 0. If you wanted to find a y-intercept, very similarly, you're going to let x equal 0. And let's do that for example 1 real fast. To get our x-intercept here, if we let y equal 0, we've got 3x minus 2 times 0 equals negative 6. 0 wipes that out. You'll have 3x equals negative 6. You divide by 3, you'll have x equals negative 2. That's what you're going to be typing into Alex. They'll have a little box. Sometimes you'll have a fraction, sometimes you won't, but you just type that in. You need to find your y-intercept. I hope you can catch what's going on. We always let the opposite variable equal 0. To find the x-intercept, we let y equal 0. To find the y-intercept, we let x equal 0. So here's our equation. We're going to go 3 times 0 for our x, minus a 2y equals negative 6. We'll just have negative 2y equals negative 6. We divide by negative 2. We'll get y equals 3. That is your y-intercept. Take a look at our second learning target. I can graph a line given its x and y intercepts. Let's say graph the line whose x-intercept is negative 4. We'll go on your x-axis, and we'll go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. A warning about Alex. I believe they're going to have a scale of a half for some of their graphs, so you got to pay attention to where you're clicking. Your y-intercept's at negative 5, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps down, and 2 points determine a line, and you're done. So nice and simple. Let's take a look at this problem. I can find the graph of a line by finding the x and y intercepts, and I can graph it. So here we go. We've got 2x minus 4y equals 10. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to find my x-intercept. We're going to let y equal 0. And that means we'll have 2x minus 4y equals 10. That y is going to cancel this minus 4 out. You just have 2x equals 10. Divide by 2. You'll get x equals 5. That's your your x-intercept. We can even plot a point. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right over here. To get to your y-intercept, guys, to get to that y-intercept, we're going to see that we'll have 2x minus 4y equals 10. What do? We let x equal 0. And this is where we've got to be careful. We're going to see that, you're going to have some problems where things work out to be fractions. Look, just to help you out with your calculator, you are more than welcome to allow your graphing calculator to simplify things for you. Even if you just typed in 10 divided by negative 4, you could see very quickly you get negative 5 over 2. And by the way, negative 5 over 2, even if you were to type that out as a decimal, that's negative 2.5, right? So our y-intercept, here would go negative 1. Here's negative 2. Negative 2.5 would be right here. That's where negative 5 over 2 is. With this scale, where we're going by steps of 1, you can see that's what our graph would look like. Again, Alex might have some graphs where spacing is going to have halves in between. That would make this graph be easier. I can find the slopes of lines parallel and perpendicular. If two lines are parallel, they have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So, real fast, let's say I gave you a slope of 3/4. What's the opposite reciprocal? Change it to a negative and flip. What if I gave you a slope of 2, which by the way is really 2/1? Opposite reciprocal would be negative 1/2. What if I gave you something like negative 5/3? The opposite reciprocal would be a positive 3/5, and you wouldn't even have to write the positive part in there. Well, let's do our last two examples here. It says consider 3x minus 6y equals 4. We want to find slopes parallel and perpendicular to the line, meaning we need to get y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to write 3x minus 6y equals 4, and I need to get y alone. I'm going to minus the 3x from both sides, and we'll have negative 3x, and then this is plus a 4. You can divide everything by negative 6, and you'd see y would equal, now negative 3 over negative 6, that would reduce to 1/2. And I hope you can see too that the 4 over 6 would reduce to negative 2/3. The slope of this line, however, because we want m, is going to be 1/2. So we want the slope parallel to a given line. If you look up at the top, two lines are parallel, they've got the same slope. This is going to have to be 1/2. What would the slope perpendicular to the line be? Well, we have to have an opposite reciprocal. We have to make that a negative. When you flip 1/2, you get 2/1. So that would just be a negative 2. Let's do this last problem right here. Same exact principle. We've got negative 2x plus 8y equals negative 3. I need to get m. I need to find what the slope of this line is. So I'm going to very quickly get y equals mx plus b. I'm going to divide every little part by 8. This leaves me with 2/8. That becomes 1/4. 1/4 x minus 3/8. The slope of this line is 1/4 because it's the number multiplied to x. Parallel lines have the same slope. That parallel line has a slope of 1/4. To go with perpendicular, we need the opposite reciprocal. So I've got to have a negative, flip 1/4, you get 4/1, and we are done.